In today's video, we're going to be looking at the ORIX MT5 Expert Advisor by Mr. Leonid Aukipov. So this guy comes up in the MQL5 marketplace every once in a while, and I found that most of his bots aren't that great. However, this one is pretty unique in that it seems to have a real strategy behind it, and the reason why I think that is because there's a GMT offset. And what that usually means is that it's something time-based. Like when it says that, hey, make sure your broker's time matches the EA, that generally means that time is important, which usually means that there's a real strategy there, because if it was just pure history reading, then they wouldn't take the time to indicate that you need to sync it to some sort of broker or server time. So what this means, it's probably based on some sort of breakout system, like opening range breakout or London breakout system, particularly as we're trading GBP USD. So that's actually pretty cool, and it shows that there is likely a real strategy here. The one downside, though, is this guy manipulates his signals so much that, frankly, this is obviously fake, right? Like he's showing close to 100% win rate in some of these things, and that's clearly not true, right? So the main thing is if we can actually break down what he's showing versus what he's obscuring, we might be able to get a better idea of how this bot actually works. So here from the actual trading signal, we're only seeing two different trading times so far, one being 15:20, so this would be around 8:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this one here, 18:05, would be around 11:05 Eastern Standard Time. So neither of those are really super indicative of an opening range breakout because they're happening a bit later in the day. So I'm curious as to why he's deciding to kind of take that exact approach. Like there's no like very blatantly obvious time that we're seeing here, but so far people are actually pretty, it seems to be, people seem to be pretty happy with it in the reviews. So here's the strategy type, price behavior, and market structure analysis with identification of key reversal levels. So perhaps it's both a time filter, but it's based more on a breakout system of like key levels. That could also perhaps make a bit of sense. So now if we actually run a back test here, we can see that the back test is blatantly fake, right? Like it shows a 100% win rate, turning $10,000 into $12.731 thousand, so a fairly modest return, but over the span of a year, like it's a 100% win rate. So that just can't possibly happen. There's not too many trades here though. So I venture that he's just gone through and pretty much cherry picked all the winners. And specifically he's saying that we have to run this on the M5 time frame. So what I think he probably did is he just kind of heavily manipulated in such a way where he just went through, he found all the losers and he took them out. So this thing was released on the 22nd of December. So let me go and now run a longer back test up until today, just to make sure that maybe it started to fail since you released it, because obviously you can't manipulate it as heavily in that case. And I'm going to do it with 1 minute open, high, low, close, just to see, there we go. Okay, just to see what makes sense. What we can see is pretty much as soon as after he released it, we started to have some losers. And let's now see, yeah, clearly like he's using an enormous stop loss as well. And let's look for some winners here. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But it's more of a swing trading style too. And if we look at them, it's a nice mix of shorts and longs. So interesting, it looks to be trading almost like breakout based system. There is an element of like, actually more of a mean aversion based system actually. There is an element of looking for volatility between the sessions, which is quite neat, but it's so heavily manipulated that we can't really have an idea of how exactly it works. And why I think it's so heavily manipulated is simply because the win rate can't be 100%. So I take back breakout, it looks more like a mean aversion system. So it's probably based on some sort of oscillator on a higher time frame. Because if we look at the actual trades, it's very much oscillator looking, in which like as soon as price starts to turn, it looks to be re-entering. So if we run a visual back test here, just to kind of get a bit more information, maybe it can help us out. In the meantime, when that loads, we can go check out some of the inputs. So there is indicators, there is news filters. So it looks like he did put some real thought into it. Oh, sorry, wrong one. It looks like he did put some real thought into it. It's just, unfortunately, it looks so heavily manipulated that it's really hard to see. I'm going to just try loading that again real quick. Here we go. Pause out of window. Okay. But from what I can see here, there's no exact indicators or anything going on either. So it looks like there is a real strategy, but it's just, we just can't see it. So guys, honestly, my honest opinion on this one is that there is actually a real strategy behind it, given the time offsets and given the fact that there's enough filters and settings here that it can't just be a pure history reader. However, the backtest is so massively cherry-picked that it just doesn't tell us anything. So frankly, and because the live signal is also so short, although this could be interesting in a few months, we need to just wait and see how it does, because we just don't have enough data to make an informed or educated decision at this time. Overall, it looks like most likely just a basic RSI or some sort of oscillator which is hard-coded, it's running, it's working in such a way, but we need to be able to get a bit more information to know what's going on. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I would definitely stay away from this one for now, but maybe we learn something about it in a few months. Cheers and have a great day.